Yeah, man. I'm excited. That was awesome. So for everyone that's going to hear this on the podcast, that was our new intro. Yeah, just it wasn't a lot of video to it, but it just showed the diagram or the logo of Rad Bad Stay at Home Dad Podcast. And thank you, Chris. We appreciate you, man. We appreciate you. Now, I do want to say before we hop into everything, what up, though? Welcome to the Rad Bad Stay at Home Dad Podcast. I am your host, Jason, along with my illustrious co-host here, Chris.
That's right. And as always, this isn't the view, damn it. This is the dad's point of view. Jason has 3 kids. I have 2. Together, that is 5. And when our spouses are away, we keep them alive. And we're going to share stories and issues that come into our household in the role that we are doing. We are live on Facebook and Twitter. And for all other episodes, Jason?
You can catch us on, just like you said, Facebook here. You can also catch us on YouTube
YouTube, my
as
bad.
well. No, it's okay. Catch us on YouTube as well. So make sure you subscribe to the Rad Bad Stay at Home Dad podcast. Not only that, we also repurpose this audio for podcast listening. So all areas of podcasting, whether it's Yahoo, not excuse me, not Yahoo, but Amazon, Deezer, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple iTunes, all of them we are streaming on those platforms as well for your listening pleasures at a later time. So if you can't catch us on the visual, catch us on the audio. You're how's everything going with you, champ?
Pretty good, man. I've been running around like crazy all week as it's Thanksgiving week. I mean, for us, it is. We roll out to Florida tomorrow. So I am a Thanksgiving episode. I'm repping what
The
Thanksgiving means to
Lions,
me. Yes, you'd be
right?
thankful to be able to watch a sappy, crappy team every Thursday.
That
But
part.
excited to escape out of the cold for a little bit and spend some family time. How about you? How you been all week?
Not too bad, man. A lot of change happened this week, last week and this week, and I'm just adjusting to it, and it's working out pretty well. I mean, it's getting cold. That's I'm understanding it. Like, okay, I got to get my winter coat out. I'm wearing my hoodies. I like that, but when that wind start to push, it's a different kind of creature of cold. So I'm adjusting to that, but other than that, man, life is pretty spectacular. If you guys didn't hear in the last shows, man, he's going down to Florida, Tampa area. We're a little not necessarily jealous, but envious of you getting to jump plane to a warmer climate and dig your feet and your toes in the sand. So enjoy that for the most part. The reason why I say for the most part because you still get to see 0-7 and 1 team, you know.
Do you know that the Lions have the second best record in November in the NFC?
How is that even possible?
They had a bye, a bye, a loss, and a tie, and there's only like one other team without 2 losses. So we're rolling. The good
Uh,
news is
wait,
Goff,
you breeze past that. What team is that?
who's oh
Without
um, it's your Packers. I will give you your due diligence there.
that was the hardest thing for you to do right there. He's
No, you see, I'm not anti-Packer. I've never been an Aaron Rodgers fan. I love Brett Favre. It was just Aaron Rodgers used to bother me, and then I moved here, and I'm like, Vikings and Packers both suck. So,
that part.
but hey, you know what? Jared Goff will probably won't play on Thursday, or Sunday, so we might have a chance this weekend. But
To win a game.
oh, it's so hard. It's so hard. Remember 2 years ago when they were awful, and we were on the beach, and it was Thanksgiving. I'm like, I have to watch the Lions because it's Lions and Thanksgiving. I grew up with that. Like when we grew up in Michigan, like we all sat down, like 30 or 20 people sit down and watch the game. That's part of Thanksgiving. I was
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
beach. I
for
was like,
sure.
I should stay on the beach, but I want to go watch the Lions. And I was like
That kind of
torn.
the awful things to be torn against, right? But
Yeah.
now in this new world and age, this day and age, with the basically a television in your pocket, you can watch the game on the beach if you want to.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
That'll be over. It'll be over after the first quarter, anyways. But
Hey, Exactly. But guys, make sure that you do follow us on all platforms. We are also on Twitter and TikTok. And to find us there, you'll just go ahead and type in, boom, right below us, Rad Bad Sad. That's Rad Bad SAHD, as in Delta. You can follow us over there on all platforms to make sure that you're checking in exactly what we're doing and what we're uh, showing. What I'm excited for is that Chris is pretty good at capturing some good candid photos of the family while they're enjoying it, whether they're in Ely or in Tampa. So I'm excited to see one good family photo of you guys while you're there.
They'll take a picture of me drinking a beer while they're all playing and with their cousins. No,
That
it's great, man.
part.
It's great. Yes, it's nice the location, but it's more important the family time we have. The best times down
Exactly.
there are when we're sitting down on the condo having dinner and we're all sharing stories. My brother-in-law and his wife and three kids will be down there. My in-laws will be down there, and kids go to bed, and we might sit on the deck, and we always have good laughs. I always say, even if they lived in Cleveland, we'd still go there for holidays. So
That part. I
very,
appreciate that, man.
very excited for the week.
No, so if you guys didn't catch in the news, and I'm talking to Chris too, in the news, there's been some crazy stuff happening. Not only has a lot of unfortunate murders been happening, but there's been one big thing in the hip hop world that's been kind of like sparking the gossip blogs and podcast areas. And I had a homegirl of mine, Hillary Banks. She hit me up and said, "Oh, you guys got to talk about this." I said, Wait. We're not those type of men, so I don't know how much or how close we can satisfy your um, curiosity of what we think about it. But we'll touch on it a bit and we kind of modify it. So what I'm talking about is the baby, which is a hip hop rap artist, and his current or past girlfriend, but she is the current mother of his latest child. And they had a squall, a problem, an issue inside of their relationship, or whatever they want to call it, right? And they took it to social media. So my reason for bringing this up here is two questions. Question number one is when you and Jack, and you ain't got to go deep on it. It's just kind of almost a yes and no, and then kind of a understanding of why. Did you guys, when having little problems or issues, ever take your problems to social media?
Absolutely not. Stays
Absolutely not.
stays between her and me. And I mean, I I go as far as even if when when if we're in a tiff or something, I I don't even call friends about it because to me that's our marriage between her and I, and I'm not always innocent, and sometimes she's not always innocent, and we love each other, and we figure out a way to communicate well. But that shit doesn't go on Facebook, or I don't call up a friend and you guys were cheated. Like, no, like she's my person and I'm hers, and we've touched on this a couple episodes ago, where in my opinion, part of being a good father is being a good spouse. And don't never yell at her, especially in front of the kids, and
Especially in front of the kids, for real, for
right.
real.
And like I said, I go silent, and then we can figure it out later. But no, I'm not one of these TikTok. Hey, look at she's going off, or like watch me piss her up. Hell no, man. How
No,
about
not
you?
at all. Exact same thing. I mean, with us being together for almost 12 years, it is tough. I've had a few confidants, like my sister, and maybe like one really good friend that I will need to help understand, because it's not necessarily saying like, hey, here's the issue in my relationship. Where's the issue with me? Like, what am I not seeing as a person, right? Because sometimes I feel like I have to step away from the situation so I can see their point of view or her point of view. So I'll go like I said, it's only like two people, really two people. My a real good friend of mine and my sister, and then they'll just try to walk me down how dumb I am because at the end of the day, it's more like me than her.
See, I always say that in our relationship, I wear the pants but she
Okay.
tells me what pants to wear.
Well,
Like, so,
yes, I like that. I like that a
well, and we
lot.
know. I mean, we know each other. I mean,
Yeah,
I so we just no. It's my relationship with Jackie is my relationship with Jackie, and vice versa. Like I don't need to air out our issues or anything like that. I mean, not like we have like deep issues, but I mean, sure,
right,
there's
right,
I
right.
mean, raising kids and life changes and stuff. There's always there's I mean, not conflict, but sometimes we do see things differently, and at the end of the day, I mean, we're on the same team, and like I said, she's my person and I'm hers, so we're in it together. And
I love it, man. I
no
love it.
offense, screw everybody else. Like,
No, no, be offensive,
right,
man. Yeah, fuck y'all. Excuse
right.
first time and last time dropping the F bomb, but yeah, like no, we don't do this for everyone else. We do this for us.
We're,
Now,
we're
for
sorry, we actually talked today how a little bit today about how the four of us we're pretty tight. Like just we
mhm,
do a lot together. Like to the point where Sawyer has a hard time doing play dates and stuff. Like I mean he doesn't like he has a hard time at letting people come to our house because he like that's like our time. Like he'll have even a couple times he had friends over. He'll be like, hey dad, can you come like play with us and like throw the football and stuff and
yep,
like
yep.
and Lilly, she was in gymnastics last year and she backed out because it was too much for her because they wouldn't let a parent stay with her. And I used to kind of stay with her. And she was overwhelmed because she's finally in kindergarten and,
Mhm.
she's coming and going with COVID and she's never in daycare. So she had dance on Tuesday, gymnastics on Thursday. And it was like the third straight week of her finally being in school 5 days a week. And Thursday hit and she didn't have it in her. So she quit gymnastics. And then Sawyer was saying that he wanted to get back. He wanted to do something like that. So we signed him up for a Ninja Warrior course, and Lily wanted to do it
Oh,
too. Yeah. So, but
nice.
the caveat is she would only want to do it if Sawyer was in the same class with her. So her and Sawyer are in the same Ninja Warrior class, and so they love it. But then they also get in the car and picked him up this week. And I told I we just decided, hey, I told him Tuesday nights, Jack, why don't you take the night off, and I'll take the kids on Tuesday night, and
Yep, yep.
you can have a night to yourself or a bottle of wine. Just kidding. And um, so they get in the car, and the first thing Lily says is, Sawyer need me, but it was an accident. And so like, well, that's because blah blah blah. I'm like, I'm glad to see that someone else is dealing with this shit. So
Right.
sorry.
Oh my god. We go through the same thing. They're not as because there's a 4 year difference, so they're not really in the same kind of sports or in, activities. That's Hazel and Quinn. But sometimes Quinn will go to Hazel's basketball practice, and it's kind of cool for them to watch her. But then after that, when they're in the car, man, it's complete mayhem for the both of them. But before we go any further, any further, I want to say happy birthday to Jack. I know her birthday just passed, right?
Yeah, her birthday was yesterday, so it's crazy. And November is crazy for us. I mean, mine's was last Wednesday, hers was last night, and then the next week is Thanksgiving, and then we have.
Yeah.
Let's see, so I'm gonna mess this up. We have one nephew who's the 12th. Parents' anniversary is the 14th. You got another nephew who's the 25th, a niece who's the 21st, and another niece who's the 28th. So it's like
Yeah,
November.
you 100% missed your sister's birthday.
No, I did not.
You didn't say her
Wrong.
name.
What's that?
You didn't
My
say her
sister's
what?
my
Yeah,
sister's birthday?
Kelly's
Right
birthday
church,
is what
right
the
church, right church, wrong pew. Her birthday is in December.
oh wow, all that so everything that you just explained was all of November.
Can confirm. Yes.
Oh wow, damn! I thought you went from November to December. That's my fault. Damn.
No, no, December's quiet. That's only like two birthdays and Christmas
There you go.
and New
And
Year's Eve. So.
salute to you, my
Oh,
friend,
and you
for
got
having
one.
the
You got
mind.
one. You got to edit your thing next week because Margo turns 2 next week.
That's exactly right.
What's the plan for her?
We're actually bringing the whole family over for dinner for Thanksgiving dinner and her birthday. So we celebrating it all in one. So we'll have the Tillies over, so Jake and Kelly over with the boys, Grandpa, um, brother Noah, and I think that's about it. Maybe a few more. But I'll be cooking the turkey. This is my first turkey solo. I'm ready for it. I'm excited.
You
I got
smoking
it
it?
down. I'm gonna smoke it. Yep. I just took so we're sharing one smoker amongst the family. Jake isn't using it that much, but the dad, grandpa or papa bought one and he hasn't used it. So I'm like, I can use this. Please send it here. And so this will be my first attempt smoking by myself a whole turkey for Thanksgiving. I'm sure I'm gonna do well. I got this. I'm not nervous. I ain't scared. It just
Uh,
takes patience, and I have a lot of that.
Patience and like I told you, I have the charcoal one, and so I do it every other year for Thanksgiving. I smoke one to bring to my parents' house, and it's one time it was like 20 degrees, and like I got up at like 6:30 to start the smoker, and it was on the smoker for like it was seriously it was like 10:30 at night, and I'm temping it. I'm like, I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up. And so it's a battle, especially in the cold. But I want
Okay.
part of me wanted to take my shirt off and be like, I got this. Like just go all man cave on it. But
Big
yeah.
facts. I'm
Well,
excited to see how
good
this work
luck to
out.
you. Since this is a show about our kids, we actually went out to dinner for Jack's birthday, and Lily's upset because Jackie couldn't fix her hair the correct style. So she was in
Oh,
I call it Eeyore mode, and I thought Lily won $1 million. It's not 2 million. Like she just it's like everything just like just clouds and rain over everything. And so she's in the mood, and then Sawyer was in the mood for I don't know why he was in the mood. And then we're just sitting at dinner, and we're going over what they want to eat, and Lily's like, "Fine, it's fine. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Fine." And I'm just like, "Are you kidding me?" And Sawyer's just like, "I don't want to eat." And I'm like, "We're in a restaurant, and I don't do corporal punishment, but there's a first for everything."
this,
Like this
I'm
is
about this close.
right. I mean, and then Jackie got up and went to the bathroom, and I said, "Guys, this is ridiculous. Like this is mom's birthday. You guys were at school all day, and she's so excited to go out and celebrate with you guys and have a good night. And you guys pull this. Like, no. Like when your mom comes out of the bathroom, you go up and you give her a hug and you apologize, and we have a good night. Because
That
this is
part.
this of all days, this is not the day to do
This
it."
is not the day to be doing this at all.
Yeah,
No,
but
you
she did it. She did have a good night. I shocked her with her birthday present. She is a touchdown for me, and you can throw the applause button if you want.
there it is.
She she dropped the line in the summer how she really wants a coffee maker with a frother. And
Mm,
I don't drink. I'm caffeine free. And so and we share finances, and as you know, I don't bring in cash. So a
right.
couple months ago I won a nice chunk of change in fantasy baseball, and I just kept it in the drawer, didn't say a word to her about it. So I could buy her the gift with cash. There's no trace.
There it is.
Had it hidden for like a month and a half, and so she had no. I go, "What do you think I got you?" She's like, "I don't know, like a nice bottle of wine." It's like
Ah,
I was like, "Oh well, okay." So then no, she opened it and she was shocked and she's excited. So it was happy for me because it wasn't like I took the card and said, "Hey, I bought you something with your money." Like, so
I know that feeling,
and
brother.
dude,
Good job.
she's always spoiled the hell out of me on my birthdays, and she always goes above and beyond. And it's a good thing and a bad thing that my birthday's 7 days later because she always or her birthday's 7 days. She always sets the bar. I'm like,
That part. And then she's like, don't do that. Don't do that. Hey,
right.
so I did want to trace back a bit when you were talking about the Eeyore or Lil having that attitude. Today, Quinn hit us with that tonight, right? Like getting ready for bed, and she just hits a mode of, huh, like I don't want to do. I'm not going nowhere, and we have it in our house where I do the counting. So I'm like, go to your room, and she doesn't move anywhere. So I'm like, one, two, and by two they're moving. They get on the scoop boot. Because if I had the three, then I got to do it, and they don't want that to happen. Like, they don't want me to take them to their room. Um, so with that, she runs to her room, lays in bed, and then she's just really adamant about not getting ready for bed, not getting her PJs on, all of that. So I finally calmed myself down from like getting to the point of yelling at her. I'm like, come here. So we starting to talk. So I'm like, what's wrong? She's just sitting there silent. What's wrong? Nothing again. So it's like, don't make me say this again. So she goes, to be. I don't want to be here. I'm like, okay, where do you want to be? I don't know. So where you want to go? I just don't want to live here anymore. I'm like, so where do you want to live? I
That
don't
makes two of
know.
us.
Right. So she's like, I don't know. I was like, so do you want to go to live with Nana in Detroit? No. Do you want to go? I was like, I could pack you up right now and take you wherever you want to go. Where you want to go? I don't know. So I'm like, girl, go get in the bed and hang out with your mother. And it was just the simple fact that her attitude of like, I don't want to be here because she's not getting what she wants.
Yep.
And that's where she gets. And here's the thing, she knows how to put it on. She could put the pressure on a person. But I gotta sometimes I either meet her with fire or I meet her with Ken, like just something nice. Like I'm a nicer to death. I'm gonna give her all of what she wants and be yes, dad, for about a good 45, 50 minutes before I had to put down the law again.
That that is something that is a thing in our house is I'll I don't know if you know this, but I could be sarcastic and I can
Right?
and I could I give it sometimes I can give it to the kids and even when when they're whatever and I'll kind of uh throw it back and not throw it back in their face, but oh, I thought you said this or I thought you said that and Jackie's just like
Don't you do it.
you'd like to poke
Don't
the
you
bear.
do it. Right, exactly. These little
Right.
cubs are gonna get you, brother.
Oh, you know what my dad used to do when one of us was acting like that? And there were 6 of us. So one of us is acting like that. My dad would be like, "All right, everybody ready? Jason's mad and we're glad and no one's going to please him. Jason's mad and we're glad and no one's going to please him."
Wow.
And so that was kind of like, "Hey, you're acting a fool and everybody knows it." But
Way to go, pops. That's what I had nothing like that growing up, but I do sometimes I poke at the girls a bit when they're in the tantrum tantrum phase because I'm like, we're not doing tantrum tantrums. I'm sorry, we don't do it. We haven't done it. Why start now?
I
Falling on the ground, kicking and doing all that kind of stuff. No, ma'am, not at all. So I'll do some stuff to probably tickle in on getting to get them to laugh and readjust. Now, my question to you is for that, right? I just thought about this while we were talking about it. Um, when they're in that mode, like what are some of the things that you do to calm them down, but then also like go over how that behavior isn't uh that's not a good behavior. Like we need to adjust that. So what are we talking? How are you talking to Sawyer and Lilly after they have a meltdown like that?
go downstairs and let Jack deal with it. No,
Nice.
I mean it does it all depends on everything. Like it's got depends on where's this coming from or like I do give them leeway when I know like if they're exhausted or they had like a long day or something like
Right,
that. And
right. Sure, sure.
it's funny you say that because Sawyer's thing is you'll catch him with something or Lily will say something, you'll go to him about it, and first he'll deny it, and
Mm.
then you point out that it's a fact, and then he kind of walks away and then he goes, "Well, at school today this person said this and I was really upset, so I was frustrated and so I did that." And I'm like, you're diverting. Like
Ah,
you gotta he does that a lot where he doesn't take the blame. He points at something that happened earlier in the day. And so I've been trying to tell him like, well, I'm sorry that that happened to you, but you're still responsible for your actions, and
gotcha.
that's not the way to go about it. um
You know,
it's sorry, but if it's their meltdown, and a lot of times some of it stems from like Jackie will say one thing and I'll say the opposite, not knowing, you know, like she'll say something like
sure,
what,
sure.
like Lily will get back from dance and she'll ask to do, X, Y, and Z, and Jackie, yeah, sure, no problem, blah blah blah, and then I'll come up and I'll say X and Y and in bed, and she'll, Mom said this, blah blah blah, and then it's like, and Jack's like, I told her this, and then so I and sit down and talk with Lil. I was like, well, Lil, you can't snap at me like that. I didn't
Mm,
know.
mm.
You need to, be a big girl and explain to me what's going on. And then, I didn't know mom said that, but you cannot talk to me like that.
Right, right. I like that because I've fell into those kind of things twice just because we were on opposite pages,
Yep.
and I do the exact same thing. Now, the thing that you're talking about with Sawyer, I want to get a better understanding of it. You say he'll say one thing, but another thing was a little different. Um, when it came to school, like, can you elaborate on that a little bit more? Because in my mind, I'm thinking of something else, but I don't want to say it without clarification.
No, go ahead. Say, why don't you say it first?
Okay. So, because in my mind, how I address sometimes with Hazel with that, because she's an older one that's able to think that fast. I think she's telling a story. Like it's like a white lie, and that's I do not accept any of that in my household. Like we're not lying. We're not gonna fib it. We're not gonna alter it to make it seem better for you or whatever the scenario may be. So, whatever you said or whatever you did needs to coincide. Like, they need to be the same. And if it's different, I feel like you lying to me. And at that point, we're having a whole different discussion because you're lying to me.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
yeah, no, I'm big on not lying.
Right, right. So, because
uh,
that's how I was raised. I got in a lot of trouble for that, but I also just want them to be able to be
Honest.
okay. Yep, be honest, but be okay telling the truth to me, no matter how or what happens. So, like, say for instance, something happened when I wasn't in the room and one of the girls were crying. I asked Hazel what was wrong. She told me nothing, but she knew exactly what happened. And the reason she didn't tell me why or what happened is because she feared she was going to get in trouble. So I had to stop and go, okay, no one's in trouble right now. I need to make sure your little sister is okay. So I ask you what happened because then I can help her appropriately if she's hurting in a particular area. If you don't tell me what happened, I can't help her get better. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's important to tell me the truth. Now, if something does come up where you do get in trouble, we'll handle that at a different time. But I need you to be honest with me, straightforward, 100% of the time, all the time.
I, I always tell Lil about things like that. I always say, you know, I love you and I want to help you and be on your side, but I need to believe you. So you need to tell me the truth. And I tell Sawyer, my thing I tell Sawyer is like, if you did something wrong, there's going to be consequences or something's going to get taken away, and we're going to deal with it regardless. Now, if you lie, it's going to be worse. So
Exactly. I say the same
just
thing.
I want to, and I'll point out situations is like, see, I want to believe you, but you said this before, so I don't know who to. So when they go back and forth, it's like, who am I supposed to believe? Who, like, you need to be honest with me because I always want to believe you. Like,
Right.
it's and a lot of time a lot of times the lie is worse than the act or whatever it is.
Oh man, you just said it. Welcome, Jess, to the show. What up, though, Jess? I appreciate you stepping in, man.
Yeah,
Third week in or fourth week in a row. I don't know, but you've
I
been
beat her. I
consistent.
I beat her to the punch.
No, actually, it was sitting. It was sitting here. I just didn't put it
Oh,
up
she
yet.
won.
Yeah, y'all came
Oh,
almost a tie, but it's
there you
exactly
go.
the same format. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
I
you're
mean,
gonna get way more trouble if you're
I
caught lying compared to
I already I
telling the
already
truth.
know the I already know the conversation I'm gonna have them before they go to high school. It's like, if you don't ever get in the car or drive anywhere, if you're at a party and you've had a couple drinks, call me and we'll deal with it. Um, But if you do get in the car and you don't call me or you cover up that you were somewhere doing something you're not supposed to be, it's going to be a lot worse than you just call me and say, "Dad, I made a mistake. I'm at this place. Can you come get me?" And I'll.
Ooh, brother, at least you get to tell. Like you could tell them. I could just show them. Like you remember. do,
Download
right.
episode 3 of the Rad Bad. Share with all your friends. Ignore the
Do
bad
you
things I said about you.
exactly no? Like, do you remember when Dad had or Dad couldn't, and Dad was like, y'all remember that? And they gonna have at least Hazel's gonna have memory of it. And I'm like, look, man, it's not worth it. Here's
we
my thing. I'm
Sorry. We
excited for those.
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm excited for those conversations a little bit later. But all I want, and this is what I continue to instill in them or install in them as they're growing, no matter how you feel inside or what may happen, always tell me the truth. Just talk to me because if you do, you get better leeway. Not even leeway. I get a
Yeah.
better understanding and we can have a better conversation about what may happen in the future. compared to if I catch you, because I'm gonna catch you. I done been doing this for 30 some odd years. You only been doing it for 8. And really, it only been 3 because you just not real cognitive of your stuff. So don't try to play me. Like, you can't play me, man. I be trying to tell Hazel that I know everything. And she be like, you don't know everything. I'm like, I know all of it. I knew you before you was you. You was in me first. Come
Yeah,
on now.
does she Lilly you? And then like 2 weeks later, she'll ask you a question like, "Why did that
Yes.
police car just drive by?" And you're like, I don't know. I was sitting with you. Well, I thought you knew everything."
No,
Son of a.
yes. Exactly. She does that frequently. You know what I mean,
Yeah,
or is this? She had like Hazel has a still vault for memories. Like she can remember the most obscure or precise thing when she was like either 3 and then up. Like so, something that might have happened last year. Great memory and reflection of it, man. That's one thing I'm scared of. You know, but no, nonetheless, man, I think we are doing great with our children overall and setting them up to be great parents at the end of the day. Not parents, excuse me, great people at the
I'm
end of the
sure they'll be
day.
great parents one day.
I hope so. I hope so. If they choose to, that's up to them,
Well,
man.
Lil last night, she was in kind of a mood again, like when she was in bed, and then I was tucking her in. I was, fine, Dad, I'm fine. I'm like, Lil, you're saying you're fine, but I can tell in your voice you're not fine.
Mm,
And then we started talking, and she gets into something that bothered her at school, and right, I mean, rightfully so, and she was upset about it. And I said, yeah, well, it helps for you to talk to me about it, and I'm not gonna be mad at you for talking to me about it.
right.
I, I want like this is where you're supposed to talk about it, and we figure it out together. And you had mentioned Hazel and her white lies. A lot of times Sawyer says things, and they're not necessarily about happens at school, but they're not necessarily lies. They're just from an 8-year-old's perspective about what happened on the playground with other
Mhm.
8-year-old boys. You know,
Understood.
and so then I got to revert back to what was I doing in third grade? Yeah, oh yeah,
Right.
the other team was cheating, and I scored on every play. So yeah, like,
That's it. Hey,
but
so here's my question, and obviously it is different. Just even with me having 3 girls, they're all different because they're all different personalities. How different is it um being soft, not soft, let me think of the word, compassionate between the two? Are your compassion like levels different between Sawyer and Lily? Like how you address them, how you work with them, how you handle them, those type of things.
it's it's could sound crazy, but it's more of a conscious effort to be softer with Lily.
Got you.
Like,
No, 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 that's
um,
understood.
she is a lot more sensitive, but she's also a lot more independent. Where
Sure, sure.
Sawyer is, uh, case in point, every day we home from school, Sawyer wants to get home and play football, and Lily just wants to be by herself and relax, watch her iPad, or start coloring with watching her iPad and going back. There you go. Based on their personality, is what Jess Johnson said. Exactly. So it's not much of a gender thing. I mean, I roughhouse the same with both my kids. I throw them
Facts. I do
around.
the same. Yeah.
Yep. Um, it's just it is totally based on their personality. Sawyer is a lot more needy and needs to be entertained or wants to be entertained more, and he gets losing. And I don't even know if it's first child syndrome. It's just because it
I
goes
was
back
just
to
about to ask that
it.
question. I was just about
I'm
to.
sure there's a little to that, but a lot of it goes back to even when they were babies, and that
Sure.
Sawyer was finicky, Lily was cool. Just hey, give me what I need, and I'm good on
I'll be
my
good to
own.
go.
And then
Mhm.
so that's when this behavior happens, and then she blows up because it's not fair in her eyes.
Mm.
And like we always look like, well, you were cool, then you blew up. So then it's more of a conscious effort to like, I always happened tonight. Came home with Sawyer, and the first thing you want to do is go outside and play football. You were talking about the cold, and I was like, yeah, I was outside playing football with that windshield with Sawyer for 25 minutes, and
Yeah,
then
that's
we
tough,
played
man.
that, and then I bring him in the house because we're getting cold, and I gotta get ready for dinner. So, well, can we play catch in the house then? Like, let me see what your sister's doing, and she was cool. Her and Jack were packing. So then I played catch up in the house for like 15 minutes, and I go, all right, I go make dinner now. So I went and made dinner for everybody, and then after as soon as dinner's over, he comes down the stairs, and he said, "Dad, do you want to go play catch?" And I said, "One second." I said, "Lil, what did you want to do?" And then she said that, "Daddy, will you play this with me?" And I said that, "Yeah, Lil, I will play with you." And she goes, "Oh, I asked you first." And I said, "You're right,
Mm,
Sawyer. You did ask me first." And like, then this is like a conscious thing. Like he asked me to do
right.
something, and I'm like, no, because I haven't done anything with Lily yet. And I said, you know
All
what,
day,
Sawyer?
yeah.
As soon as we got home, I played football with you for 25 minutes, and we played catch.
Yep.
I didn't spend any time with Lil, and so I'm gonna do what she wants to do. And then he's like, oh, and Jackie's like, I'll play catch with you. And
Yeah.
I ended up I didn't play with Lil anyways because we got so busy and things got whatever. But sorry, it's a long-winded
No,
answer.
no, no, no. That was great. The reason being because I didn't. What I loved about that explanation, it allowed me to understand how you're conscious to like play with them both. Since I'm with three of them now, it's kind of hard because I had that same kind of hookup where I'll give designated time for Quinn, I'll get designated time for Hazel time, and then there's sometimes where we're all playing together, and that's kind of like our rough housing time because that's only because they're so different in nature that it's kind of hard to play with them both because they want two different things. So we just roughhouse. Now, what I do love is that they all are into the same thing. So I end up getting some free time to like catch up on cleaning and doing stuff because they play together. Like Hazel and Quinn just play together with dolls and all that kind of stuff. And then Margo, if she's up from her nap, she's playing with magnet toys. So that's kind of like a breather for me. But also in the same, it's fun to watch them engage that way. Now I did have something in mind when you were explaining everything. Um, is it a conscious effort for you to check in with them like that? Because early in your dialogue, you were speaking about school, Lil having, something in her tone that you kind of told or kind of understood that maybe there's an issue there. What made you dive into that? Like how'd you know to be like, oh, I want to look pay attention to that?
I know
Or
my
ask
girl.
questions about that, you know her?
I know my girl, and I can tell. And it's hard. It's hard because I can call her shit. Like I know when
Gotcha.
I know when she's just in the mood. I know when she's tired, and I know that when something's bothering her. I know my girl. Like, and I do have a pretty good connection with her. Now, her and Jackie are girls together, and they have their stuff. Um, but with Lil, and it's easier for me to reach Lil when Jackie is removed from the situation, which isn't a knock.
Sure.
I'm not knocking Jackie at all. I'm just saying like Lil, I mean, I spent so much time with her alone, when Sawyer was in kindergarten and first grade. It was Lil and I at home, and I've always had that relationship or I built that relationship with her. I talked with you about this before when
Yeah,
Sawyer
yeah,
went off
yeah,
to
yeah.
kindergarten. Now I was like, I wish that it was all the way around because Sawyer was easy at the time, and then um, there was going through a tough, terrible twos and stuff, and then I was
Sure.
or threes, and I was amazed at how she blossomed and how beautiful of a person she was, and her and I really, really um bonded, and we
Bonded.
got we got
Yep.
our old lingo, and I have a lot. Sawyer has a lot of interests that I have, and so it's easy when he comes over, starts talking football or start asking me questions or whatever. But Lil and I have our things with songs and like with movies and stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
S-
yeah.
So I just, I would say I can get to her easier than I get to Sawyer, and I think Jackie can get to Sawyer easier than
Easier. Okay. Yeah,
than
so that's
than
just a
vice versa.
matter of connection, right? A connection between you guys and the trust you guys built between each other. Now, Jess does have a question. This is a little bit of a long-winded one. Let's see what she says here. She goes, "Can I ask you guys an opinion? It's kind of deep. How do you guys install good values and respect when our world is so messed up? So many kids they go to school and do not know respect. The agenda being taught is so political, etc. I was raised with very good morals and values, and that is everything I try to instill in my kids. But they are seeing much hate and disrespect. I seriously struggle in my mind and I want to raise my kids the right way. Ooh, that's a good one.
Can you lead that up? Can you lead that up, Jay? Thank
Yeah.
you very much. All right, you go. You go first. Take that. You take this one first.
Sure, sure, sure. Here's what I say, and here's what I've done. Uh, I make sure that I maintain that the world is the world, and that's going to forever change, right? The biggest one that I can bring to mind is George Floyd and the whole arise of how things are happening and what's happening in the world, and the difference between what has happened in the past and what has hopefully is going to change in the future. I tell my children to always respect their elders. So whoever their teachers, uh, anyone of an older age, and us, obviously, right? So please, thank yous, all of those type of things. But I just try to make sure that you know they don't listen to the people that are saying bad things. So if there's kids cussing, if there are kids talking about other people, if they're talking about them, make sure that they go tell a teacher, right? If someone's making fun of you because your shirt is small or short or whatever the case may be, or you're tall or you're short, whatever, you go tell a teacher, right? You let someone know that this is happening. And then if the teacher doesn't do anything and that continues to happen, you tell that kid to stop, right? It's not nice. That's not cool. um, I think like overall, your child's going to be a good child per the just person, like we were all just saying, per the personality of the person. We have to teach them right and wrong, and I do that all the time. So Quinn is the one that has a colorful attitude. So if it's not going her way, she either screams like a blood curdling scream, she may push, she may hit, but then that's when I stop them and have a conversation. We don't hit people because you're mad. If you're angry, we do breathing exercises. You take a moment to yourself, you go to your room, but you calm yourself down before you make an action or say anything. Like we just repetitive with those kind of actions and those kind of things.
Starts when
What-
she's 4. I mean, when
Right,
she's getting
exactly.
that 4. So um, like you said, I'm a stickler for manners. Please and thank you. To the point when I call anybody, I'll call the kid's school, or if I call the vet or whatever, and the first thing they say is blah blah blah. How may I help you? The first thing I always say to people is, "Hi, how are you doing today?" And you'd be
There you go.
surprised at how many people it catches off guard. And a lot of people, "Oh, I'm fine. How are you?" I'm like, okay, but like, so I'm always please and thank you and respect. Um, I'm looking at a thing here. Okay, good morals and values. That's to me, that's respect, manners. I don't care who you are and who gives you the service. If it's you're even if you're getting served at a restaurant, it's please and thank you. We do it. The kids last night when we were ordering food, they would say something, and Sawyer said, "Can I please have a cherry coke with extra grenadine, please?" And Jackie goes, "What would come after it?" I said, he said please. Like, it's someone's giving you a service, or do you always say please and thank you, especially you were saying your elders. You absolutely respect your 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 elders, and is with the disrespect and the hate that's going on, it's tough because there's 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 certain things I don't want them to know just quite yet, but there's certain
Right.
they do need to learn the lesson. I mean, you see me here on the show, and I have a couple glasses of wine, and I will have a beer on the beach at 12 o'clock in front of my kids, and I'll have a couple drinks in front of them. I'm not getting out of control, but like they see me drinking alcohol, and then Henry Ruggs, the Raiders football player a couple of weeks ago, who uh, he twice the legal limit, driving 150 miles per hour, and he killed somebody. And he was
Jeez.
driving. He was actually on Sawyer's fantasy football team,
Mm.
and he was that. What's with Henry Ruggs? I'm like, he's never playing football again. And then I was talking to Sawyer about it, and I said he shouldn't have been driving. Well, why shouldn't he be driving? I said, well, buddy, you know, s- you're when you have those, like, when you have too much sugar and you start bouncing off the walls. He's like, yeah, because he's bad at that. He's like, yeah, I get bad. I'm like, right. I was like, well, if you're drinking alcohol, it can impair you, and you should not be behind the wheel of a car. And I said, so you will Giving you a little lesson here, Jason. Just kidding.
Right. There you go. That nudge,
But
nudge. Right.
yeah, but so I said that's why you see like whenever we go to family get-togethers, or if we go for holidays or something, or we go to a restaurant, mom and I will talk beforehand, or we work it out. So it's like we'll go and I'll have one or two beers, and mom might have three or four glasses of wine, or vice versa. But if one of us is drinking too much, you don't get behind the wheel of a car. And
There you
like
go. Yep.
and again, for me, it's just hammering manners and not letting them get away with certain behaviors. We talked about this a couple weeks ago, right, Jason? With both of us are in. We both we're fortunate to have beautiful lives with nice homes and stuff. And we're talking about my kids going up to Ely and stuff like that. And like that's not not everybody gets that. That's a benefit, and
Right. Right.
because you get that doesn't mean you're better than anybody. Like
Nope.
you need to
So
stay eat some humble pie.
that part. So I wanna wrap that back around, kind of bring it full circle for us. Um, you got it right, Jess. And I think a lot of us got it right. We have to continue to do what we were taught. And the only way to improve it is to give slight change to what we were taught. So, like you said, I was raised with very good morals and values, and that everything is I try to install in my kids. So you continue to do that, but then what you do is you address what's happening in the world today. Children being taken, or not knowing who or what to talk to or how to talk to people, and you show them how to do it, because it's through our actions as well. So it's not only what I'm telling them, it's also what I'm showing them. So continue to do what you do, as far as in your very good morals and values, and your household having those good values, and you're showing exactly what you're telling them, right? So that's very important in my mind.
So hey Jez, will you let us know what you mean by you were raised with very good morals and values? What are those specifically? Like what are your like what do you mean by that? Like what are your good morals and values? Just out of curiosity. And again, with the hate in the world and stuff, I talked about this a couple weeks ago when Sawyer was asking me what the N word was. And
Yeah.
I want like part of me, and I talked with Jason about this, I think off. Part of me is like, did I fail him by not actually telling him what the word was and what it came from? Why people say that. I talked the message behind it, but I kind of danced around it because I didn't. I mean, is it's almost, is it ignorant of me, or is it right of me to not actually say it to him and like let him know how bad that word is and like where it came from? Because like I said, I danced around it because I don't want that in him yet. I think he, and it's different for you than it is for me because you have, you know, you have to live with that differently than I have to live with that, right?
Facts.
And so,
Facts.
it was. Let me ask you: is it ignorant of me that I didn't say the word and tell him exactly and get into it, or do you think as a second grader? I guess I kind of shielded him a little bit, but I mean, I
Yes
was
and yes and no. And the only reason why I say yes and no, is because at the end of the day, he's going to end up hearing it at some point. So it's a matter of when you're comfortable with it. You know what I'm saying? Because the explanation is going to have to be clear and understanding. But you got to be, at some point, you're going to have to either address it after he knows it when he comes home. He's like, hey, I found out what it was. And you're going to be like, or you're going to be like, look, this is what it is. And this is why we don't say it. She did
right.
say something here. So she says, saying please and thank you, not lying, respecting your elders, not taking advantage of everything you have, respecting God, never put anyone down. And the list is long, but uh, it goes on. It goes on. And then she's also saying being thankful for everything you have,
Uh,
serve others. All of these great. That one
um,
too. That last one is extreme. I'm gonna let you go. This last one is
but
extremely important. That serving others. That shows exactly why we need to be nice to other people, because they may or may not have what we have, but they also don't get the love that we give. Like, so you might love your kids to a point where they don't understand like why some other kids don't get love like they get loved. So they might have to give that love out. Things like that. Go ahead, man.
I was gonna say I everything she said, I te- is I those are things I hone in on my kids with the
Very much so.
exception of God. That's just a different belief in our household. However, my mother is very religious, and when they ask questions, I don't put my beliefs on. I just said this is what Grammy thinks, and I always answer questions, and they are allowed to make their own choices when it comes to that. If they want to be exposed to it, they can be exposed to it. And when they ask questions about the Bible or about God, I say, well, this is what they say, and this is what they believe. Because we don't do prayers before dinner. My mom always does, and when we're at my mom's house or my mom's at our house and she says a prayer, I just tell my kids, you can fold your hands, you can do the sign of cross, or you can just sit there, but you just need to be quiet and respect that that's that's what they believe, and that's okay. Like it's that's you always respect where other people are coming from. Doesn't make anybody right or wrong, and that's just the way I think.
I feel like you just summed it all up. Out of the 10 minutes and or 12 minutes that we just spoke, you just said it right there. The phrase of you have to respect them, and if you and that's okay. Like that to me, that kind of summed it all
I
up. Like
can't.
they
I
can,
can't.
it's okay for them to be different.
I
It's
can't.
okay.
I can't. I'm gonna say I can't remember who said it, but it's like I may not believe in the God that you believe in, but I will fight for you to have the right to believe in the God that you believe in. And
That
that's
part, I
that's what
love
that's
that.
that's where I come from.
Jess, man, thank you
Yeah, thank you very much.
for bringing that up. We appreciate you 100% for being here week after week, man. That is amazing that you continue to come in. Make sure you share and follow. You already follow, but share with some friends. Let them know what we're doing here, what we're talking about. Other parents are more than welcome to join the conversation. Here's the best part about it. Although we are not single, excuse me, stay at home fathers. Um, we also welcome right, yeah, exactly, we also welcome all mothers and any parent alike to indulge in our conversations and come kick it with us 100%. So with that, remember you can catch us on all streaming platforms. That's here on Facebook, YouTube, as well as all uh streaming podcast platforms as well: Apple, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Amazon, wherever you do your podcasting. Do you have anything to say before we get out of here, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, since it's Thanksgiving week, I thought, and we got a little deeper. a
Sure
couple
did. I
funny,
love it.
couple funny things my kids said this week. I was going to share with you, if that's okay.
Sure can. Go for it.
One is, and this is via the one they call Sawyer. Did you know that men have a full meal?
A full meal?
Yes, they have a hot dog, they have buns, they have a brownie, and they have lemonade.
Wait a second. What's the brownie, bro? That's what I'm trying to figure out right now. Is the
Oh, good. You get to answer that to another adult.
a
I have to answer.
brownie?
I have to respond to that to an 8-year-old. Now, how does one respond to that to an 8-year-old? Do you correct him? Do you hold back the laughs? Do you? Because he's been testing the waters.
Just says it's poop.
Yeah.
I can't with you guys. I can't with you guys right now.
Lucky you don't have a boy, man.
He has the full meal: a wiener, a hot dog. Excuse me, a hot dog, buns, brownie. What was the?
Lemonade.
Okay, you got another one. Oh man, I hope it's better. It can't be better than that. Jeez, oh peace. That's
Jason, that's my
hilarious.
life. And we actually Jack and I had this conversation because he's saying things and he's pushing things and he's testing things. And I talked to him. I said, hey man, I'm your dad, but we're also buddies. But I'm also not your buddy on the playground. Like
That's right.
you can't like some of the things you do. You don't talk to me like that way. Like there's a line and you're starting to cross it. And
Gotcha.
but he said things. And I'm like. Oh, I know your dad, so I know where this is coming from. I guess
Ah.
I guess Lily's was a
Yeah.
little more cute. We're um, coming back from a birthday party. Actually, it was a double birthday party on Saturday, and we're at a stoplight, and it's red. And I turn right, and she goes, "Daddy, you turned on you went through a red light." So it's okay, sweetie, because the light was red, and I looked and saw there's no cars, and I turned right. And she's like, "But you can't go through a red light." And I said, "If you're turning right and there's no cars coming, and you stop first, you can go." And she goes, "Oh, that's why kids don't drive."
That's cute. That is cute. That is cute. It's too many rules. Imagine when she has to learn this now. Yeah, that is cute. I like that.
So
I like
happy
that.
Thanksgiving, man. I hope you have a good turkey day.
Man,
I'll
we're gonna have fun. I'm excited. Quinn's turning. I mean, not Quinn, but Margot's turning 2. The time has flown by, and it's amazing because each day now I'm starting to see more character from her. She's climbing and sitting down in the big chair. We almost about to get rid of her high chair because she doesn't want to use that anymore. She's just sitting in the bar stool now, and but she's talking to me like, "Daddy, wake up! I want an apple, orange, grapes." Like she's telling me what she wants, and she knows where it is, and it's just amazing to see the evolution of her mind and who she is. Because here's the thing: we let her watch Mickey Mouse Playhouse, and on Mickey Mouse Playhouse they got all sorts of great things, right? But one day she picked up a little toy elephant and was like, "Elephant." I'm like, "What? When? Like, how are you? Where? You just randomly saying elephant out here?"
you kids watch Dinosaur Train at all?
No, no, we
Or
didn't. We used to, but not
uh,
anymore.
our kids got into that, and then there was another movie they watched. I forgot what it's called. It might even be dinosaur movie, but Sawyer was into it, and he got really into dinosaurs. And then his favorite dinosaur was a Pachycephalosaurus. And we we go to story time at the library, and he's 3 or 4, and they always have a letter of the day, and the letter of the day was a P, and the librarian goes, "Does anybody know anything that starts with P?" And so he just goes, "Pachycephalosaurus." The library, a what?
Right. Everybody's like,
A
"Arr?"
what? Yeah, like
I love that. Hey, you guys, they're a little older now, but you guys watch Bluey?
never even heard of it.
Oh man, give Bluey a try. Even as parents, is entertaining.
We say go Bluey. Bum 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 bum
Yeah.
bum bum
And with
bum.
that, I appreciate
Cut,
everybody
cut.
coming. But no, seriously though, with that, thank you all for tuning in with us, man. We'll be back
Two
not
weeks,
next
right?
week,
Yeah.
2 weeks, yeah. Because everyone will be enjoying Thanksgiving. Now we do have some planned activities for Thanksgiving. We independently will go live on the show on the web, on the page, just to kind of give you guys a glimpse of what's happening in our families on Thanksgiving. So tune in with us there and come check us out, man. But other than that, we appreciate you guys, and you all have yourself a grand old day.
Thank.